G for G, Games for Gamers. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at a few new items running around in Marvel Avengers Alliance, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on them and discuss if anything's going to be a game changer. Well, the first thing you're going to notice is that the Mystic is on sale. It has been for a little bit. Expires July 1st, so this one's quick. If you got anything on the gold sale, you may want to get this quick. Is the Mystic still worth it? It is part of the dastardly duo of PvP weapons with the synthetic cube. I would say yes, it's still worth it. Mystic Shroud, of course, has gone down a little bit with the fact that pesty beasts are around and can erase it before it even kicks in. Of course, the Blackest Void gets rid of it. But the Mystic also counters the thing that provides the Blackest Void. So, interesting toss-up. I think the Mystic is poised for a bit of a comeback because of obsolete tech, which can mess up a few people, including Pepsi Can, and of course the actual cube itself, and the Mystic Shroud being in place. I think it is a yes. I think it is worth a purchase. As you can see here in the news, the new Uncanny Xforce costumes are up. That is going to be the meat of this video. But very briefly, we're going to see something else that causes obsolete tech, and that is the item from the last gold sale. So if they didn't have Mystic up, and we didn't know that we were getting Mystic at the time of the gold sale, the E-Regulator does some of the similar things, and it can become a quick action with Snappy. Well, it's not really a quick action because it's not usable. It's like Cosmic Cardinal. It sits there and does its own thing. Tech support. Attacks apply obsolete tech. Now, this is all allies, so every ally on your team is now basically Mystic. Allies have a chance to be protected by a tech support field, so it's customized, may not be activated manually, that's the Cosmic Cardinal, and it's subtle. Well, obviously it's subtle, because you can't activate it, but hopefully that means things for other abilities. Not that it'll stop Deadpool from doing something, but at least this is a passive. Tech support field, it's a minor shield. Better than the 40th Century set shield, but not quite as good as like a Savant Spear. But it converts incoming energy damage into healing, and it provides upgraded tech while active. So, if your team has a Pepsi Can, this will protect you from the other team's Pepsi Can. And energy people, and of course, things like that. And the cube. So it basically means, hey, if somebody on my team goes first and you can run a Quicksilver, that's it. The enemy synthetic cube is completely shut down because Quicksilver will lead with his AoE in the first round and it'll apply obsolete tech. Now, if the other team is running Mystic, then maybe this E-Regulator falls down. So, it's part of my missions team at the moment. This is actually a pretty sick combination. The Savant Spear, well, not the Savant Spear, the Primitive Spear is also really, really nice. Attack and accuracy increased by 10%, and it's just a hair under Mystic's damage. It has other things that it works pretty well, and you'll deal a lot of damage with this. And if you have any melee or slashing upgrades, this is really, really nice. And you see those a little bit more than ranged or magic upgrades. The PvP spinner is Solar Storm. All allies, 2-round cooldowns, buff tech energy, so it can become a quick action with Snappy service. Makes your team immune to magnetized. It's catastrophic. It makes the other team magnetized for 2 rounds. They can't crit, they can't dodge. And this is a usable item. There's the good old Rafshank. So, I'm just gonna pop by my PvP team real quick, show you guys that, because of course this is taking a little bit of a hit, because the Asgardian Tankard has finally been fixed as they said it was going to be. Ager's Finest is now in effect. Competence went out the window in the middle of the day, actually, when I got the you need to refresh your game because there's been changes. That was it. So 3 of my PvP matches, my nice little team was in place, and the last 2, it's changed. The way I used the tankard was if Iron Patriot went first, he would do a single attack. Then when my agent came around, the tankard would pull him back for an extra turn. I would do Black as Void, then this, and then Patriot would finish them off, and Rocket Raccoon would be jumping in as needed. Well, this doesn't affect Iron Patriot anymore. It doesn't give Rocket the crits, but it gives my agent 2 turns in the first round. I'm still going to hold on to it because that means I can weaken, burning, and shield break on the first round, and also do a Black as Void, which removes buffs, removes Mystic, all that stuff. So I'm going to stick with it, but I may eventually talk myself into the Psychic Amplifier over here, except my version's not the quick action. My defending team's about 50-50. It is the Neurotrope, it is the Soak Scroll to seal in the buffs, the Synthetic Cube, and now the Mystic, but I was running something a little bit different here. I was running the Tankard to give the agent the extra turn, because the Neurotrope would be a quick. The Tankard would allow me to go Scroll, Black as Void. Now I just have to use the Mystic. Hopefully I don't just spam the Mystic and I actually go through the progression here with the Cube and everything. Outside of the first round, the Cube will be a quick action. So, we'll see how it goes. Now, the meat of the video, of course, is the new Xforce costumes. And I redid the video because I messed up on the original recording on something, and I'm actually glad that I did it because I've severely changed my mind on something. Psylocke has Infiltrator and Tactician as her off, and like standard old Playdom costumes, the on class is 60, the off class is 75. So we've seen this before where the off is a little more expensive. Initially I was thinking, Capers and Infiltrator. But let's take a look at this. Butterfly effect. Here's her new suit ability. Allied Uncanny Xforce members, only Uncanny Xforce members, which is Wolverine and Deadpool and her, gain stealthy and true strike. The first time I read this, I was like, wow, a completely stealthy Deadpool and a completely true strike Deadpool. That's only reality hacking's gonna stop him at that point. Yeah, I think she provides the best benefit to her partner. Uncanny Psych is not going to count because it's not Uncanny Xforce. But I really started to process in my head the Tactician version of her. Wow, mind blown, because with Snappy service in there, you only get one. You can't run Quick Lock with Snappy service, but if you're running her on offense and it's not really, you can maybe do something else other than mental coordination like Berserker or, Ares or whatever. Look at what Snappy service can do to her. Finally, mental coordination is a quick action. We all know on defense she goes mental coordination, then if somebody's hurt enough, including herself, kinetic shield. So she's essentially there as a buff stick. She's there to be mental coordination at the beginning of the round for quick lock teams. Well, now she has an incredible amount of depth in the fact that she could do quick action and then right into the shield if somebody absolutely needed it as an emergency. Bang bang. Or mental coordination and an attack, kinetic shield and an attack. I mean, she's going to be ridiculous. I mean, mental coordination feeding will give her psionic shadow, which will feed into an immediate katana for massive damage or extra damage over here. So I think she's going to be phenomenally powerful as a tactician. She's going to lose that especially with Snappy service. She's going to lose that mental coordination ISO, but you know what? There's ways around it. I think she is, this suit and this character is by far the absolute strongest one of the group, and I would really call this the purchase. If you can only get one, I'm going to say this right here. So let's look at the next one. You'll notice they're all in the third row for me. Deadpool, he is on class a scrapper, off class a blaster. His buff is free candy. Pulls up in the van and takes your children away. Just kidding. Allied Uncanny Xforce members gain Boonbuster on single target attacks, which he has. So he applies one of his benefits to everybody. I think Boonbuster is less important, but paired up with Psylocke over here, I think that's the strongest pairing, is Deadpool and Psylocke, and I think they could work on offense and defense. His ISOs go out the window, and we know he has two. He has the Savory, and he has the other one that caused the glitch a few PvP seasons ago that allowed him to res and everything like that. I think I would go with Scrapper on this one. Blaster is not really going to matter, even though you shouldn't be seeing triple tacticians quite as much anymore now that the Tankard's nerfed. Infiltrators finally might have their day, but I still would say Scrapper. Just enraging a bruiser is probably going to still be a lot better than giving a tactician an extra turn, considering you're going to see tactician agents at least. Boonbuster, very, very situational. I think they could have done a little bit better on that one. And finally, the last one is Wolverine. Now, a Boonbuster Wolverine, I think, is absolutely pathetic. Who cares? A stealthy True Strike Wolverine, a little bit better, but here's his buff. You have to read it because it's not at the top. It is Don't Die on Me Bub. Attacks that would reduce an Uncanny Xforce ally's health. So, again, either Deadpool or Psylocke have a 50% chance to reduce the ally to 1% instead. Now, if we look at Uncanny Psych, his is listed. We know that's not really that true. His is listed as 25%. So, if you ran him with Uncanny Psych, he's got 50% on himself, and then there's still the Uncanny Cyclops at 25%, even though these two are not going to have synergy due to the X-Force part of it. Who knows? Maybe there's a bug and it's everything that says Uncanny will get it. But him and Deadpool, Scrapper defense, everybody having health regen and resing, and maybe Deadpool's own little res ISO. That might be annoying, but really, has Wolverine bothered anybody in half a year now? I don't really think so. Deadpool's still pretty common, but if I had to purchase one of these two, I don't really see the benefit of Tactician for him. Yeah, okay, an extra round of attacks on blasters. I would still go with Scrapper. And honestly, I really wouldn't consider purchasing any of those. I may grab one just to have it, to see if the meta introduces me to something neat. But, now that the Tankard's gone, triple Tactician Tankards aren't really going to matter a whole lot. He has no buff for Snappy service. The only thing he could potentially gain by being a Tactician is the shield one. Other than that, I don't see the real need for it. But in order of purchase power, I would rank Psylocke as a Tactician number 1. I would rank Deadpool as a Scrapper number 2. Psylocke as an Infiltrator number 3. Blaster Deadpool number 4. Wolverine as a Scrapper number 5, and Tactician Wolverine I would rank as the last place, number 6, and pretty much a non-buy. But yeah, I will definitely be pulling the trigger on Tactician Psylocke over here. And it it essentially is the grand fix to quick lock teams. Quick lock teams are all about the burst, hopeful procs from people jumping in on mental coordination and everything like that, especially on that first round with your Quicksilver going first. If you can suffer the slight slowdown of waiting until Psylocke goes in order for mental coordination to kick in, this is the way to do it. It's a little bit of a longer game. You can maybe get away with making it not so attack heavy and bursty, but now if you had two quick lock teams fighting off against each other and they have a Scrapper Quicksilver, Psylocke of course was a huge liability being an infiltrator. Well, now that she's a tactician, the tactician version kind of wins. If you survive that initial onslaught, here you go. She's now a tactician. If you run into a blaster, she's got 2 rounds. The thought of, just think of how this might play out. You get a blaster, so you go mental coordination, telekinetic katana, attack 1. Now her round is done. She gets the extra attack from the blaster, and you can telekinetic katana somebody else again, or the very same person who now has weak mind. Well, actually, psychic knives them, actually, because this is not a psychic attack, it's just slash and melee kinetic. So, pretty disgusting combinations here. You obviously lose the ability for her to be a tactician with those ISOs and have the mental coordination one, but still a very, very solid pick, and I would definitely say that it's worth it, and you can keep her in place with Scrapper Quicksilver, and she's not going to apply the buff to anybody else on the team, but she's going to apply it to herself, so she's still stealthy. And now she's gained True Strike. Pretty disgusting. So, hope you enjoyed this video here on the haps of Marvel Avengers Alliance. And you PvPers out there, take care, and let's see what we have in store now with the Mystic being around and the Tankard being nerfed, and now we have non-infiltrator Psylocke. Who knows what we'll see. Take care, everybody.